Hi everyone. You may remember that on my last little film that I posted on my support group, I asked for some questions. If you had any questions or tips that you wanted to know about how I stay motivated, how I keep living my healthy lifestyle, how I've sustained my weight loss. So I had some really good ones, so thank you all very much for sending them to me. And I'm just gonna read them out and answer them sort of with what I do really. So the first question was great. It was, what is the worst diet advice you've ever been given? So I would say the worst diet advice I ever had was I was sold Cambridge plan. I think that's what it was called. So basically I had 3 milkshakes a day and no food. So I just found that horrendous and quite barbaric really, that you're just basically starving yourself. And I was very, very young when I did that as well. So I think that really messed my metabolism up. And all it did was just lead me to massive binges because I craved sweet food and sugar anyway. And then starving myself all day, well, you can imagine, I would just eat anything in sight. So that was disastrous. And I think really that was the beginning of my very unhealthy eating pattern. The starvation and the binge cycle kind of kick-started from that really. So yeah, I would say that's the worst piece of diet advice. So anything that's like a meal replacement, I think really is ridiculous, unless it's a health thing that the doctor's told you you've got to go on. I mean, obviously that's different things, that's medically, but going on a diet and not eating is ridiculous because you're not teaching yourself any new habits, you're not going to have any energy to do anything. So that was definitely the worst thing ever. My next question is, do I prefer running or swimming? Which is really funny because they're both very different. The swimming, especially now it's got really cold, it has to be really quick. You've got to be in, out, job done. But there's something about that cold water, especially on your face, that is absolutely invigorating. I've just started following a guy on social media that he really has suffered with his mental health, and he just does dipping. He doesn't even swim, he just goes under the lake water and comes back up, and he films himself doing it and his face afterwards. I think that really is kind of how it makes you feel, just makes you feel so alive. So that's what I get from the swimming. My running, actually, my favourite runs are the long runs on a Sunday morning. I love going out and just losing myself. Normally there'll have to be some trees and some countryside, and I really lose myself. So I find that a really good way to unwind and switch off. And it's a bit of a slower pace and just really helps bring me in a good place, really. That's what running does. Swimming, I would say, is like a buzz because it's like an electric shock of cold through your body at the moment, which is just amazing and very weirdly addictive. So yeah, I love them both for different reasons. So I'm very sorry whoever answered that. I can't really say. I suppose it depends what mood I'm in. Do I plan my meals? Well, this made me raw because anybody that follows me knows I don't cook. I should. I love following these people that do all that meal prep, and they have all those Tupperware boxes out with all their chicken and rice and vegetables. I wish I was like that. I'm not. So no, I don't really plan my meals, but I always carry food everywhere with me, because I would say that I'm more of a grazer. I don't like eating a big meal. I hate that feeling of being full. I always call it the Christmas Day feeling, when you've overeaten and you have that awful bloated, I can't move feeling. I can't stand that. So I would say I'm more of a grazer, and I tend to eat little and often. So I always carry food, and it's little things like I love seeded oat cakes, and I love them, and I love the dry texture of them, which I know sounds really weird, but I really love those. I've always got a packet of them. So in a box you get little individual packets. I've always got some of them in my handbag, or an apple or a banana. And then even on a weekend I like to snack, and I used to love crisps, and would eat loads of them, massive great big bags when I was big. And now if I eat a normal crisp, all I can taste on my taste buds now is grease. So I think that your taste buds change. So I've found that the healthier I eat, when I have something that isn't, I can really taste the fat in meat, and the grease and the oil on the crisps actually makes me feel quite sick. So I really quite like things like, I'll have salted popcorn, or the sweet and salted popcorn. And I also like pop chips, and again they're quite dry, they're not fried. So, and yeah, I prefer anything like that. And even a can of mushy peas cold, absolutely love. That's one of my favourites. So I do eat funny food, but I'm very lucky because I really like fish. I really love steamed veg. I just love salads. I love, and I really like healthy food. So I'm very, very lucky. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to have chips every now and then, but not the greasy style from the chip shop. I like oven chips, you know, the quite dry, fluffy ones. I like those. So yeah, I tend to basically eat salads and stir fries, I suppose, a lot of those. I do make soups and things like that. I've got a slow cooker. I love the chickpeas and the pulses and the different types of beans. So I can cook. I just don't like all the mess it makes, really. My next question is, describe my perfect day. Well, I touched on this briefly earlier. So for me, a perfect day would be getting up on a Sunday and going out for a really long run. I love the peace of mind it brings. I love being out in the countryside and looking round and taking it all in. And my perfect day, because I live on my own, is I would love to come home from a long run when everything's aching and someone to have run a bath for me. That would be glorious. And then when I got out the bath, to have a nice meal ready for me. That would be my perfect day. Cheap date, look. I love scrambled eggs, smoked salmon. You know, some nice protein after a long run would be lovely. But that would be my perfect day. A long Sunday run, get home, a nice bath, even putting my pyjamas on. And then, yeah, that would be my perfect day. Some nice, healthy food after my run, and then chilling with my legs up because they'd be aching because I'd have done a long run. So that's my perfect day. So when I say I'm living my dream, I really am, because I love doing all of those things. So I suppose to people that don't, they think I'm some weirdo, but to me it's just how I live my life, and I love it. And I love being around people that like the same things as me too. It didn't make me feel quite so odd then. Yeah. My next question is, what do you do when you plateau? So not so much for me now, because obviously I'm at a weight that I want to stay at now. But I know that when I was losing weight, I would go through quite long periods of time and not drop any weight at all. And then it's really hard to stay motivated, because you think, oh, why do I bother? You know, sod this, I'll just go and eat what I want because I'm eating all this healthy stuff. And again, it goes back to mindset. So if you're seeing your diet and your exercise regime as a punishment, then you're going to get fed up with it and think, well, sod this. So that's where the consistency and the moderation comes in. I think you can have the odd treat on a weekend and not gain weight. But I think especially for women, our hormones have a lot to do with weight loss. So I would find I could maybe go 3 weeks without losing any weight whatsoever, then all of a sudden I drop sort of 3 or 4 pounds. So I think our hormones and the amount of water that our bodies hold have a massive impact on it. What my top tips for that would be, don't weigh yourself, because if you weigh yourself, you're not seeing what you want to see, you're more inclined to go off the rails, if you like. Whereas if you're consistent and just don't weigh yourself and go on how you feel, and then probably just weigh yourself once a month, and you'll find that if you're consistent, you will have dropped, even if it's like half a pound, because the less weight you have to lose, the harder it becomes. Like when I first started losing weight, I did half a stone goals, and because I was so big, it came off relatively quite quickly, you know, and that's very motivating. But you can't expect to only have half a stone to lose, and you're not going to lose half a stone in 1 week, are you? That's going to take a few months, because your body fat is naturally less. So try not to focus too much on the scales. Maybe then at that point start measuring yourself, because sometimes you can lose inches and not weight. I get that it's hard, but again, if you're doing an exercise you love, you're eating healthy food that's tasty, you then haven't got that mindset of I'm depriving myself of something. You've got a mindset of I'm eating food that I really enjoy, I've got a hobby that's making me fit and healthy. So it's kind of switching your mindset and seeing that what you're doing is actually a good thing and it's not a punishment, and that then you naturally want to keep going and, you know, trying new things as well. Like I'm quite into spicy food at the moment, so I put like crushed chilies on a lot of things, even on my soup, or if I roast some butternut squash, I put crushed chilies on. Just try and make even bland food really interesting and tasty, and then you don't feel like that you're not having a nice treat. And there are going to be days when you do go off the rails, but it's very, very important that when you do that, you draw a line and start again, because if that carries on and on and on, it's really hard to break the cycle. I find the longer, because all of these foods have got so much added sugar and so much added salt, it makes our taste buds get really addicted to them. So the longer it goes on, the harder it is then to get back on track. So what I do as well is keep a food diary. If I've gone off the rails, or if I've hit a plateau, you know, and wasn't losing any weight, because you can think, oh, I haven't eaten much, but actually if you've got to write it down on a piece of paper before it goes in your mouth, it just gives you that split second thinking, do I really want this? Do I really need this? And sometimes you can look at that piece of paper and think, well, blimey, I've ate all that today and I didn't realise. So yeah, it is hard, but you will have them especially if your weight loss journey like mine was over a long period of time. You will get those times, but you've got to look long term and the health benefits that you want. I remember when I was about 45, I'd seen somebody that I'd gone to school with, and bless her, she'd not kept the best health, but then, you know, she was very overweight, very immobile, and she was listing all this medication that she was taking. She goes, because I just said, oh, how are you? And then I got all of her medical history. So yeah, so she just rattled off this massive long list of all these different tablets she was taking, and she was like, wow, the thing is, Sarah, we're just at that age, aren't we? And I just went, oh yeah, because I was just being very polite. But actually, I don't take anything for my health. I take my vitamins and supplements, but the doctor doesn't prescribe me anything, and I'm 50 now, which I don't know whether that's lucky or just because I put good stuff in my body and I move it, but I certainly don't want to have that attitude with that. If I can get myself better through losing weight and leading a healthy lifestyle, that's definitely the route I would rather take. You know, I get that there's medications we need to take. You know, my dad is always suffered from high blood pressure. Everybody in his family does, so I understand that. You know, I'm not knocking people for taking it, but certainly if I could rectify the problem myself through diet and exercise, it's definitely my personal belief that I would prefer to do that for my body rather than fill it with chemicals. How do I stay motivated? This really made me laugh because, so for instance, at Christmas, there's food everywhere. So how I deal with that is, on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I run every Christmas Day anyway. Boxing Day this year, I'd actually like to go for a lake swim, but I'll just see what my friends are doing, because you're not supposed to go in the water when it's really cold on your own. So I'll need to see that if someone will come with me. And but on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I kind of give myself a green light. Don't really stress too much about what I eat. But after Boxing Day, if I've got any goodies left in the house, they all go in the bin. Now I know that this sounds extreme, but I don't actually buy a lot of stuff. But you know, when I was working back at the college, a lot of my students would buy chocolate and biscuits and things, you know, as nice gifts for Christmas. So what I would do, if I've had times when I've squirted washing up liquid on food before to stop me from eating it, and then I just put it all in the bin, because I just allow myself 48 hours and then I start again. What I do is the day after Boxing Day, I go for a run, and if you've overindulged when you go and run, it's just the most horrific feeling. You don't know whether you're gonna be sick or you need to run for the toilet when you're running. You just feel every ounce of weight that you've put back on. So yeah, that's a really good top tip. If you've been overindulged, try and go for a run. It's horrendous. And then you naturally want to get yourself back on track as quick as possible. And I've got a certain pair of jeans. They're my favourite pair of jeans. They're high-waisted and they're very fitted around the waist. So I go and put those on. It's like having your own gastric band. It's brilliant. So you sat there, you can't breathe. So the last thing you want to do is go stuffing your face with anything, because they're sort of at bursting point anyway. Another top tip, girls and leggings. Whoever invented them needs shooting, because they're perfect for the gym, but that's it. I very rarely wear them because I call them grow bags, because you could wear a pair of leggings for a fortnight, you know, in that 2 weeks that I used to get off over Christmas when I worked in education, and then go to put your work trousers on and they won't even go over your backside. So leggings are a no-no, especially if you're lounging around and you're not doing a lot of movement, because you'll just keep eating because they're comfy and it will allow it. Whereas if you've got your tight jeans on, the button is digging into you. It's the reality of it. You've put weight on, you know, there's no good hiding from that fact. And you either embrace it and go with it, or you think to yourself, I don't want this. You know, for me, it's the implications. There's a lot more implications to me, my mental health, my self-confidence. If I overeat and overindulge and I gain weight, I become a different person, you know, and I like being how I am now. That's how I want to be forever. That's how I'm living my life. I don't see any of that as a negative. I see it as a positive. You know, I've been out with friends before for dinner and they're going, go on, have a burger, have some chips. Well, one, I don't eat bread. Two, a burger would be the last thing on a menu I would choose, because I actually prefer fish or chicken or even a veggie option. So other people trying to push their unhealthy eating habits on me, actually, I'm not interested in it. It doesn't appeal to me. And I think I've done 13 months with no alcohol. I've never felt better. I feel like I've got a real clarity of how I see things in life now, a real clear vision of where I want to be, where I want to go in my life, and the type of life I want to lead. And I think people have noticed a big difference in me over the last year as well. I've had a lot of compliments, and a lot of people say, God, you're doing really well, you look really great, you've got this glow about you. And it's all to do with my lifestyle. I know it is. You know, I'm living my dream life, and that for me is everything. You can't buy how I feel. And that's why I want to help so many people as well. You know, I remember days where I had no energy. Getting out of bed hurt. You know, you'd put your feet down in the morning and the bottom of your feet would hurt when they touched, because you had all this weight on them, you know, 21 stone of weight on your poor little feet. You know, everything in life is so much harder when you're overweight. And now I just jump out of bed in the morning. I can't wait to get going. I'm normally up on a Monday to Friday. My alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and I'm just raring to go, you know. And that's what my lifestyle's given me. The last question is from a very dear friend, and when she sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, I thought, this is so hard. It took me ages to answer this. So, how would I describe my weight loss journey in one word? Now, I talk for England, so one word. I'm like, one word? But yeah, so I really thought about this long and hard. And actually, you'll find really for a group or my YouTube channel, for somebody that is about healthy lifestyle, I don't really talk about food that much, which is bizarre, because I'm a massive believer it's all about your mindset. If you can get that right, it will be easy. So for me, the more I unravelled all what was going on up here, the weight loss just occurred far more naturally, because the need to binge, the need for that sweet food just disappeared. So I would say my weight loss journey in one word would be emotional. It was emotional. And it still is. Yeah, you know, I've done videos and you've seen I have good days, I have bad days, but I know how much I love my life. I know how much energy I've got every day, and you know, for a 50-year-old bird, I'm not doing too bad. So yeah, I would say my weight loss journey has been emotional. So just get your mind in the right place and everything will become easier. If you tell yourself you can't do something, or you tell yourself something's going to be difficult, then it will be. But if you think this is easy, I'm enjoying this, it becomes easy, you know. So I hope that by answering your questions and giving you my top tips, I hope that has helped. And I've really enjoyed doing it. So thank you all so much for sending me your questions. And I will be back soon. I'm going to do some filming in the lake tomorrow, and try and get one of my friends to film me going in screeching. That'll be marvellous. But enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much. And please subscribe to the channel and share with all your friends. Thanks guys, see you soon, bye.